Hello there. Good to see you as you see me. My name is Jessica and welcome to your favorite all-women talk show on City FM and City TV. Of course, we're excited to come your way every week on your favorite station. Now, for the next approximately 60 minutes, we're going to be talking about different relationship issues as they pop up right here on the show. And we'll be sharing our candid opinions on what we feel might be going on or what whoever the sender is will have to do about the situation. I don't do this alone. I do this with my sisters. Shortly, I'll be introducing them to you, indeed, right after this. Right, welcome back. So we'll fly right into action. Remember a couple of things that you need to know. Show's interactive. There are different ways that you can contribute to the conversation going on right here. The first is possibly sending an email to jessica@cityfmonline.com or sending a WhatsApp message directly to the show, 054-998-6996. Better yet, you can join our growing community on Facebook. Search for @SisterSisterLive, like our page, send us a DM. We like that. All right, so all these ways will get you through to the show. We'll get your opinions heard and your messages read. I'll be waiting for them. Remember, we deal with messages on a first-come, first-served basis, and so we will follow suit. For now, though, let's say hello to my sisters. I've been joined in the studio, of course, by Tina. Good to see you.
Hi, good
Love the hair.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. How have things been?
Well, it can be better, but
it is what alive. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still, I mean, as far as you have life there, it's always a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Olivia.
Hi.
Charlie, what's going on?
I'm good.
A little bird told me that you've released a new phone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Finally.
Come and see the way she was doing Snapchat.
Before the cameras started rolling.
Thank you, Mr. Nicholson.
Thank you, Stefan. Yeah, you've saved us some trouble here. After this show, the pictures we take, our phones are tired. So now, we'll give you all your pictures for the official shots for this show.
Exactly.
Good to see you, though. How is the family?
Good, thank you. How about
good.
you?
I'm okay.
You're good?
I've got a bit of a cold, but I couldn't miss the show. So, yeah.
Yeah,
people are like, we need to see you guys. So, yeah, I'm here.
And we're happy.
And we're happy, of course. Yeah. Yes. Emefa's here today.
Hi.
What's going on, girl?
I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm good. Grateful.
What have you been up to
life.
since I last saw you?
People are watching, Jess.
Oh, right.
Okay. Living life, just being very grateful for my family, my friends, just being grateful for the gift of life.
Yeah. It is a gift indeed.
Yeah.
Well, ladies, good to know you're all doing well. I'm well too. So let's go right into action. I'll start with my first message here. And it says, as far as I can remember, I've been masturbating from the age of 10 when our house help introduced me to it. I started having sex when I got into uni with my first boyfriend. I've never been faithful in any of my relationships. I try really hard to stop cheating and masturbating, but I can't. My sexual appetite keeps pushing me to try out new experiences. I tried seeking help from my church counselor in 2016 because at a point I felt disgusted by my addiction, but the counselor never got anywhere. She traveled out of the country, and I didn't have the courage to go and spill my whole story to a new counselor. Last year, I tried to get professional help, but the bill was so expensive, I stopped after 6 months. I'm 27 years now, and in my 4th relationship, not counting my sexual escapades. Unfortunately for me, my boyfriend went through my phone for whatever reason and saw my messages, which proved I was cheating. I told him my problem and even showed him some blog entries, which I've been keeping for my dirty little secrets. That was when he totally believed that indeed I had a problem. Now, he's telling me the only way I can remain faithful to him is to get my clitoris cut to reduce my sexual appetite, since all other means have proved futile. He has a doctor friend that could help us and keep this a secret. He has already fixed next week Tuesday to get the procedure done, and he seems very excited about having me all to himself once this is done. I really want to be a better person, but is this the only way? We plan on getting married in February. Kindly help me out.
Okay, my answer is going to be very brief, even though, because it's coated with a lot of linings, like depth and depth of problems. But what I would say is that don't do it. I would say that I will answer the question from the bottom and say don't do it. You should never compromise your body parts for another human being. You feel disgusted, you feel bad, you feel like you're unworthy, or you want to stop what you're doing. Find other ways. You have explored and you're still exploring ways that you can redeem yourself. Bills are too high, you can't talk to too many people. Maybe we can look for numbers of psychologists and people who can help you and send you an email or send you some help. But I don't think cutting off your clitoris, really. I mean, if your breast gives you a lot of pleasure, and that is the only thing that gives you a lot of pleasure and it's leading you into sin, you need to manage the way that you control it. So are you going to cut your breast off because it's your breast? Like if you brush anything and then it makes you horny, so it means that you have to cut your breast off? Like, some
religious fanatics would actually say yes.
Well,
you know,
I would.
Yeah, if your right hand is leaving, there's something like that in the Bible.
Cut it off. Yeah. I would say don't cut your clitoris off. Oof. Please. It will be. It's female genital mutilation, and we've been trying as much as possible to stop this. Yeah. We've been going on rants and campaigns to stop this, and you're going to deprive yourself of little pleasure. You know how many women who don't even feel a thing? They've never had orgasms. It's a blessing. It's just the way you need to control it and the way you use it. So maybe I will personally go on a campaign to see whether I can get help, professional help that is not too expensive. And there's an appeal to people who give such help. We know that it's not too common, so your practice may be expensive. But then, for these cases, maybe if you can reduce your fees a bit so that you accommodate some things like this to avoid all that. But it's sad.
Very scary, actually. Olivia, wow. I'm curious to know what you have to say.
First and foremost, the guy. I'm just trying to weigh the guy here. I'm happy that he appreciated where you're coming from, and I'm happy that you know that it's a problem, and you've been open about it. You've not been defensive. Obi and Kalbert come up with some excuse that, why are you upset with me? Why did you take my phone? But you were open about it. You admitted that it's a problem and you told your partner about it. But for me, the guy, he's decided to scrap all that you did, which is a good thing. But in another breath, he's being extremely selfish, whereby he wants you to undergo this procedure. I mean, there's a reason why God created a female reproductive system. Every part of the reproductive system is there for a particular reason. I mean, he could have decided to create a woman and then without the clitoris, but there's a reason why it's there. And even the one of the main reasons why we go on campaigns and talk about female genital mutilation and the fact that it has to stop is because of the side effects. Because sometimes young women who undergo such surgeries or whatever, such ordeals, you'd realize that sometimes when they give birth, they can bleed through death. Like, it's crazy. It's really, really bad. And you take away her sexual satisfaction. And there's a reason why it's there. And no is no. Please don't undergo the surgery, like Tina said. And moving on, like I said, I'm glad that, the first step is admitting that there is a problem and not being in denial. And that's where you are at. You know there's a problem and you are willing to do something about it. You've tried and tried and tried. It's not working. Having said that, I don't want you to give up on yourself. Every day that you go past, take it one day at a time. Give yourself a daily challenge. And I think that you should take it one day at a time. Don't say maybe in the next, I'm going to try not to do all these things that I do, but give yourself an hourly challenge. 3 hours, 7 hours, 10 hours, and try and observe. For me, most importantly, get extra help, and secondly, really pray on it. Like, you've tried it all. You've tried it all. Just pray on it. Sometimes, for me, prayer works. I don't know about you. You could be Muslim, you could be Hindu, you could be whatever, but at the end of the day, I believe it's one God we're praying to. Pray on it. Tell God, I don't know how to deal with this issue, but this is what it is, and I don't know how else to do, so God should help you. For me, prayer works. So I would recommend prayer to you and professional help as well, and see how it goes. But most importantly as well, give yourself like daily challenges and give yourself, okay, this is what I'm experiencing. I'll try as much as possible within 24 hours not to do this. And it's a psychological thing as well. And unfortunately, what makes it worse is that you don't feel any you don't feel bad after you do it. Usually when you do something, you end up feeling bad that, oh, I did this, but I feel guilty. Because I feel guilty, I wouldn't want to do it. But there's no guilt. There's nothing. And moving forward, I think that what would also help would be to put yourself in the shoes of your partner. Whoever it is that you're looking to be in a relationship with. I don't even know what this guy is going to say if you say no. But clearly, I don't think he's going to stay because, he's thinking that you getting rid of your clitoris is going to reduce your horny attitude or how you're feeling. So it's like helping you solve this problem. Assuming you don't do it, and we're all asking you not to do it, I doubt he's going to stay, because most men don't want their women going around doing all sorts of things. So moving forward, assuming he doesn't stay, look at it as an opportunity whereby you try as much as possible to put yourself in your partner's shoes, because they don't like to be hurt. And it's about being faithful. It's about trust. There's a lot more to life than just the little pleasures. You should look at the bigger picture, the consequences, how you want your life to be like, how you want your children to see you. Because what goes around comes around. Yesterday is fun. Today is like, oh, you do it, yes. But you should look at the bigger picture. How exactly do you want your life to look like 20 years from now, 30 years from now? What do you want from yourself? These are very important questions you need to answer. And once you decide that this is who I am and this is what I want, maybe it will help you.
Emefa.
This letter made me so sad, to be very honest. And I'm really trying not to get emotional thinking about what this person is going through. First and foremost, she said her house help introduced her to masturbation. And and as a result, she started cheating. She's never stayed faithful, and she feels disgusting. Sex should not feel disgusting. It's very clear that there's a deep-rooted psychological issue. She's probably going through some psychological trauma that wasn't dealt with when she was a child, and she's grown up not understanding her sexuality and trying to comfort herself in the arms of various different men. We don't even know if she's done drugs in the process. I'm always very cautious to comment on psychological issues, because nobody knows what's going on. Even the victim doesn't understand the extent of their trauma. So what I would say is that thumbs up for writing your blog entries, thumbs up for acknowledging that you have a problem, but clearly you still have a long way to go in terms of your treatment. And I'll definitely support Tina to try and get you some help, because there are so many people out there willing to help. And there are also some free online counseling websites. I know there's one called 7 Cups if you do want to sign up for that as well. And with regards to her partner, unfortunately, I don't see her partner as being supportive.
Yeah.
I see her partner capitalizing on someone who has a problem and trying to use the mutilation of her private parts as some sort of punishment or some way to control her. Because once your clitoris is cut off, you will no longer feel pleasure and you'll no longer enjoy sex. So he doesn't care. As long as you're his and I don't want to be crude, but as long as you're there and he's able to satisfy himself, that's all that there is to it. So me personally, I think it's time to cut this relationship off, because there's your partner scheduling the mutilation of your genitals is not a sign of support. Even gone ahead and scheduled it for next week.
And he's happy.
That's insane.
He can't wait.
That's not support. Support would have been, okay, I know going to counseling or therapy is expensive. Why don't I chip in so that you can get counseling? Support would have been to put your wedding on hold so that you can deal with this issue. This is not a supportive partner. No. So he needs to go, and definitely try and get some more help, and keep journaling as well. Write down your feelings and try to understand what you're going through. But it's really sad because, I mean, house helps do all sorts to children, and that's a big issue that we don't even talk about here in Ghana. Yeah. And to see what this has resulted in, someone being so disgusted with themselves and so disgusted by something that's human and natural to be pleasured. I mean, it's really sad. Yeah. So
I need the camera on me for this one. I don't have much to say. Yeah. I agree with everything my sisters have said here today. This is one question I want you to ponder on. If the roles were turned and it was your boyfriend who was the unfaithful cheat, would he cut off his penis to stay with you? If the answer is no, and I'm sure you already know the answer, then this is definitely not the way to go. So, my dear lady, yes, we will be in touch. This won't be the last you'll hear of us or from us. But thank you very much for sharing your story. I'm sure there are other people out there who are probably experiencing, the same situation and perhaps would have messaged the show. But of course, your message brings to light a lot more. I mean, several issues from childhood abuse, which a lot of people have gone through, to the effects of it later on, further down the road. Definitely psychological issues coming up here. You do need some help, and we'll get you that help that you need. Okay? We'll go for a quick commercial break. When we return, more of your messages on Sister Sister. And you're welcome back to Sister Sister. Remember, our WhatsApp number is 054-998-6996. And you can also send an email to jessica@cityfmonline.com. If you have any relationship issues that you want, us to weigh in on, these are the ways to reach us. Okay, so a message here says, Dear sisters, I've been friends with this young lady for about 7 years and counting. I've been like a brother to her all these years. Early this year, I asked her if we could consider a serious relationship leading to marriage. She declined. She then mentioned that she had waited all this while for me to come forward, but couldn't wait any longer, and so she got into a relationship with someone else late last year. My problem now is I just can't forget about her. I'm still in touch with her and we chat sometimes. I think she may only be entertaining the fear that I'll waste her time, hence her stand. All these years that we've been friends, she took my advice to better her grades and go back to school, and she's now about to complete her national service. I, on the other hand, have also had the chance to space to put up a place of abode and achieved other feats as a young man. How do I convince her that all that I've been trying to do was to give her a bit of comfort in life and have our family started on a sound footing? What should I do? I don't believe in dating for a long time. I also don't believe in tying people down for long when marriage is not in sight. And that's a message from Freddie.
So she's already in a relationship. She's currently
She's moved on, yes.
She's
she
moved
says,
on.
yeah.
But they still talk.
But they
still talk.
They
yeah.
still.
She didn't move on.
No, she waited that he didn't do anything, so she's gone into
move on. No, she just went into
another relationship.
No, they are friends.
Okay.
There was no relationship.
No, there wasn't. Yeah, there was no relationship.
So she has
yeah,
not
you're right.
moved on. She's
Okay.
gotten
Yes.
a boy.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh wow. Yes. Okay. So having said that, I think you should just let her be. It's going to be hard, but you should just let her be, because this whole thing about I like you, we don't know our status thing. If you like somebody, just tell them that you like them. I don't like the whole suspense thing. Like why do you stay the longest time? Like the whole sister brother thing, the whole best friend thing, but you feel like there's a connection when you look into the person's eyes, the way the person smiles at you, the way the person, reacts to you. You kind of feel that there's something there.
Right.
Rather than procrastinate and make assumptions, speak to the person. What's the worst the person will ever say? Oh, Charlie, I don't see you in that light. You are my brother. At least you know. But you don't wait for her to, like, she's not even thinking about, even if it crossed her mind, because of how your relationship was with her, she didn't even consider you. That's why she decided to move on. Unfortunately, even though she considered you, she thought that it was not an option because she was still waiting on you. So if you're also saying that she was waiting on you, then what was she waiting on? Did you both know there was something happening, but you both didn't talk? Do you see what I mean? Exactly. So moving on, I think she's moved on. I feel bad because that guy that she's in a relationship with hasn't done anything. And he's coming in with a clean heart, open heart, excited about his relationship. You can't just use 2 seconds to come and say, oh, because I knew you. What has he done? Unfortunately, you had the opportunity. You didn't pursue it. Somebody else has taken up the opportunity and is in a relationship. I think you should just leave her and just leave her be to enjoy her relationship. And out of respect for who she's with, you owe her that.
I'll have to disagree slightly.
All right.
It sounds like they've liked each other for a very long time. He says he's been working hard, trying to set them up for marriage. He's put up a house, this, blah, 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 blah. I think that because, he did tell her that he liked her. And then she said, she had waited for a long time and now she was in a relationship. We all have egos. Maybe she wants to be chased a little bit. Maybe she really wants you to prove that you've really been working hard towards this relationship. And indeed, if you are that close, her boyfriend knows that you guys have this close brother, sister, best friend relationship. I think that maybe you try again. Make sure that you really put your thoughts together properly, even if you need to write a letter and read it out to her. Do something like a big gesture. People like that sort of thing because she likes him. She's with her new boyfriend. She's still talking to him. If you've moved on or you've moved forward or moved away from the relationship, then why are you guys still that close and why are you talking like nothing's changed? She's keeping him at arm's length because she wants him to know that, she's also happy. She's waited this long. You never came through. So do like a big gesture. If that doesn't work, then move on.
Okay.
I wonder what the girl is saying in all of this.
I think what Emefa is trying to say is that once she's not married, you can still, see whether your chances. But I have a big problem with our cultural setting.
Okay, explain.
Now, a lot of young people think that I will leave my relationship aside. Or there's no relationship. Work, finish school, go to school, finish school, get a job, get something for your life, build a house, get all that. When you are done, you're now ready for marriage. Now look for a woman and add her to you.
To complete the picture.
And that is totally wrong.
Okay. What's the right thing?
For me, as you go along, you build relationships. You're a human being, and as long as you go along, you have feelings, sexual feelings, platonic ones, whatever it is. Dating is not necessarily zoning in on one woman. Dating is seeing what the prospects are. Taking one person for a drink, taking another person for a drink, open conversations. See which people are your top 3. Don't promise them life and death. But you know that I'm gunning for these people. Finally, when you're at a stage where you know that you are proper in your mind, in, say, university or whatever, you know what you're doing. After school, I want to do this. This is the kind of person I want. After school, or I've started working, I'm earning some money. I know this is what I want for myself. You can now tell somebody that, or when you feel strongly about the person, you can now tell the person that, listen, I feel strongly about you. I think we can do something. I think I like you this much to go this length. So it is you. And then you zone in on the person, and then you have a relationship. Because I feel that a lot of people live their whole lives, or their whole relationship lives, aside, is separate from their whole schooling, working, everything. And then you get a lot of pompous people because they've gotten to a point where they have money. They can talk big for themselves. They can, okay, see, I'm person warrior. It's not. You have a lot of young people like that. And for this man, he was saying he justified his 7-year friendship at the end, saying that he doesn't believe in keeping a woman waiting. Please, he doesn't believe in that kind of thing.
If you're not ready for marriage.
Yeah, so he needed to be ready before he makes a move. So you think the woman is just there. Mm-hmm. And think about it. Most of the time, the gap between a woman and a man, if it's not like 10 years or something, the woman is always mature. Like, she goes for somebody who is way ahead, or even if they are mates, she is looking at something bigger. They mature faster. So if you're around the same age, you should be gunning, you should be letting your intentions known.
Be clear.
Like, as you move, 7 years of friendship, you haven't said anything. I think that the ship or the boat has sailed. Mm-hmm. It has left, and you are still at the shore. Whether you will swim and catch up, whether she's saying that,
do a big gesture.
Well, I believe in chances. Once she's not married, you can try. But don't do anything to hurt the relationship or make it seem like you guys were in some relationship before and you are just pursuing. Maybe the guy that she's dating has been suspecting because you guys are close already. Talking, everything. Hey, what kind of girls, boys and girls, how do they mix and all that? He could be suspicious, and maybe just your pursuing her may make him feel that there was some cheating going on sometime. So please be cautious. Proceed with caution.
Yeah.
If you want to do it and you want to make sure. But next time, this is a big lesson learned. If you really love something or you really like something, don't leave it to 7 years. Say it when you can. And please, young people, as we are going, you see a boy you like, mark. Charlie, because build your life, make mistakes, and give yourself the opportunity. You can't be too careful. It's life. You live it. What's the worst that can happen?
You've got only one life to live. YOLO.
To quickly add to what Tina says, for young women out there, I mean, our society tends to say, oh, no. But if you are going, like, you are with a friend who is a guy who is constantly around you, you have to go to the hospital, he comes around, you know, he's gone into brother zone, and you feel like you're developing something for him. It's okay to sit him down and say, hey, Charlie,
what's up?
What's that? Do we feel the same? Like, in a joking way. It doesn't mean that you've proposed to him. It just means that you want to be sure that what you're feeling is what he's also feeling. And there's nothing wrong in falling in love with a guy and letting him know that, hey, I think you're a perfect choice. So, and then you move on. At least you know. If he said that and then he goes like, oh, stop it. You are like my little sister. At least you know.
Yeah.
And then you can move on. So if the guy, sometimes I what's the word I'm looking for? Sometimes I feel sorry for the guys, because not every guy has the courage to come out and tell you, because they don't know where you are at. Exactly. Because and for some men, they never get over, Charlie, I asked her out and she bounced me. So it takes a lot of, they need to build a lot of courage, momentum to come and stand, because he's built this whole, like, you are Charlie Sam diva bika. So, but if you know that silent communication that is not loud, but it's loud, you help a brother out, ladies. Just help him out. It doesn't mean anything. It just means that it's
all
good.
help them.
Help them out. Help them out. You never know.
Yeah.
You see what you like, go for it. There's nothing wrong with it. That's where I'm at.
Yeah. Not much to say here. We'll move on to the next message. It says, hello, sisters. My name is Leonard, and I've been dating this lady for a little over 4 years. We began dating in university, and we've had a lot of conversations considering our future plans. She told me she would like to pursue a master's degree right after school, and last year she got the opportunity to do so. The long distance has been hard, but in my head, I had to endure only for a little while. However, she recently informed me that she's enjoying her time abroad and is making plans to stay since she's been able to secure a job. Sisters, my girlfriend is a serious planner, so I don't believe she just recently made this decision. We're still figuring out how to get our lives set for the future, and so we're not ready to marry. I've asked her what the plan is for us to be together since we're in different countries, but she says there's too many unpredictable things to be able to plan. I get lonely at times, and the time difference doesn't help. Is it too much to ask for more? I love her dearly, and I can't imagine leaving. What make I do? I like the way you ended it. What make I do? Yeah.
What's his name? Leonard?
Leonard, yeah.
Oh, poor Leonard.
Yeah, I know.
Me, I personally believe that if you love someone, you'll support them in building themselves up. Clearly, she's a very ambitious woman. Are you sure I didn't write this letter? Clearly, she's a very ambitious woman. She's gone abroad. She's done her master's. She's been lucky enough to secure a job afterwards. It's difficult, but I think he will have to learn to support her. Either they both put money together and try to fly back and forth, because these days, in the world we live in, long distance is nothing new. I mean, I'm sure we've all had to fly to see our partners at some point. So that aside, I think you'll also have to consider whether or not they are still heading in the same direction. Sometimes people grow together, and sometimes they grow apart. It doesn't necessarily mean they don't share values. It just means she's building herself up, and that path doesn't match up with your path. It doesn't mean you don't love each other. It just means you're both heading in different directions. So you have to ask yourself, I don't know what his academic background is, if she's going to do her master's, where he stands, but he has to ask himself, is he going to be able to be with the woman she's growing to become?
Right.
Because it's very clear she's building on and aiming towards bigger and better things than what he's doing, unfortunately. So he has to ask himself, are you really going to be able to handle a woman who's so ambitious,
right,
who's willing to, you know, put her relationship last and go after what she wants? And are you also willing to step up? Unfortunately, guys don't like to hear this sort of thing, but are you also willing to step up? Are you willing to go do your masters? Are you willing to, you know, build yourself up to the point where you're able to move over with her, or ask her if she's willing to move down? You just need to sit down and figure out whether your paths align. It doesn't mean there's no love,
right,
but sometimes love just isn't enough.
Yeah. Did you just speak from experience? That sounded so personal.
Yeah. and it sounded like sound.
Been there, done that.
Sound.
Tough love, ladies, tough love.
Tough love.
You know, I would say that he knows his woman, or he knew his woman. Let me say something like that. He knew her before she left. Knows that this is how she does her things. But Emefa said something that sometimes we grow apart. Once you're doing certain things in your life and you're independent, you meet different people, interact in different ways, and you start shaping your life maybe differently from what you originally mapped out for yourself. And that could influence your final choices with maybe the partner that you have been talking to every day. Now you don't even know how to break the news to him, because he still hung on what the conversation is still. It's still hung on what you guys had been talking about early when you were together. So it's like, okay, yeah, kasi ebe worry this time. Into this, like, the conversation is not evolving.
Right.
So your everyday experiences, that is changing your motives and your life. You are not able to translate it into the conversation to let him know that, listen, the way things are going, we might not be able to be together maybe in February. So I think that we should start thinking about this or that. Because your partner is not even in that zone. He won't be receptive of what you are going through. So this is what I think, that your lady has evolved. She's moved on. She's seen certain things. Maybe she wasn't able to relate it to you or tell you early enough for you to also adjust to yourself. But there's this conversation that you should have, and it's time to do it now. To find out if you guys can make plans to be together. Without the two of you being together, it won't work. Full stop. You can wait all your life. You can whatever. When you're not in the same place, it won't work. So what I will say is that ask your partner, now that you are not coming, or now that you have made plans to stay, is there a way I can join you? If I can join you, in how many years can I do that? What do I need to make that happen? Or what do we need to work at? Are you going to stay there for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years? What is the plan? You need to, now that you're waking up, you need to sit up and ask solid questions where you will end up. Because if you don't do that, it will gradually be
Fizzle out.
Yeah. There won't be any explicit, oh, I don't want you. You see that the situation itself would present that, oh, we can't be together. So it's nobody's fault. So you need to have that conversation. If you really love her, like you're saying, have that conversation with her now. Ask her, listen, so fine, you're not going to come. That's okay. So what do I do? Does the relationship still go on? Can we be together? How long will it take? I've been looking at this. I think that if I file for a visa to do ABC, educational, whatever, I can be there in 6 months. I can be with you. We can build our lives together. If she is running away from all these things, then you know that, Martha, you are late.
Yeah, she's moved on.
Yeah.
For me, once you ask somebody out, it's a prelude into whatever plans both of you have for your lives, into marriage. Ultimately,
right.
Long-term relationship, marriage. And things happen along the line, and she's traveled. Are you in a relationship? Has the relationship been defined? Yes. So, yes, you are out there. A lot of things are changing. Your taste buds have changed. You're meeting more people. This is the woman I'm talking about.
Right.
You're meeting more people. You're getting to appreciate a different environment, different feel, different groove, different style. And you look back, you're having a conversation with your partner here, and there's just a flat screen and a boring background probably somewhere in his room. And you're thinking, Charlie, there's more to life than this. But it's reality. But the thing is, what did you settle for? I'm sure if he had the opportunity, he would have gone with you, but he couldn't. And that's why he's here. So does that mean that the fact that your taste buds have changed and everything seems to be moving on, all of a sudden he's not good enough for you? What if you guys were married? What if you guys were married and you were there and he was here? Would you say that because, things are changing, are you going to divorce him? As you commit...
It's possible.
It's possible, but it doesn't make it right. You commit to someone, circumstances change. It doesn't mean that the people are no longer relevant in your life. You can't treat people like that. My thing is, for me, the guy who sent in the message, if you do have an opportunity and you can't get a visa or you need to save up some money and go and have a chat with her. Sometimes not everybody deals with long distance relationships well. Some people are really good at it because they're very patient. It's like they understand. They're naturals. Everybody's temperament is different. Everybody is different. Everybody handles relationships different. She needs to see you. You need to have that talk with her because the question is, how long is this going to be for? Because clearly, from where I sit, she's going to be having so much fun and I don't see the relationship moving forward. This is me. This is where I'm coming. I could be wrong, but some relationships just don't do well. We've heard stories time and time again. I mean, I'm a product of what happened to my mom, whereby my dad worked with the UN and my mom is here. He's also, my dad's in another country, and then some other woman comes into the my mom and my dad really loved each other until he had to be here. I'm not saying that that's the norm for every relationship, but it encourages separation because we're human. He's out there, the weather is cold, somebody's giving him attention, somebody's cooking for him. He's human.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So find a way to get to her. Let her understand that this is where you're coming from. You need to know. And let her tell you point blank that, Charlie, this long distance relationship, no, I don't think I can handle it. So at least you cut your losses. If it means you coming back home to find a girl here who would give you the attention and who you would make a life with, then you know what you're doing. But for now, this whole hanky-panky thing, I'm in a relationship 1 minute, I don't know what happened, I had a few drinks, I got drunk, and I don't know what happened, I'm now in love with somebody else. No, I can't take that. Know what you need to do.
Can I just touch on something Olivia said? just quickly.
Okay.
What?
One minute, please.
Okay, very quick. I think I don't think it boils down to long distance. I think it boils down to priorities. It doesn't necessarily mean that because she's gone outside and she's been exposed to a new environment that these problems have crept up. I think it was very clear from the start that they had different priorities. Otherwise, she wouldn't even have gone outside for her master's. She could easily have done it here if they wanted to be together. And she wouldn't even have applied for a job. So I don't think it's necessarily long distance. If it wasn't going outside the country, it could have been something else that would have triggered them drifting apart.
Okay. All right, ladies, we need to go for a break. A quick one, though. I mean, for me, the whole thing, there's only one thing that's ringing in my head. The fact that he said she's a planner. Exactly. And so he doesn't think that she didn't already know that, like, this was her plan. After school, I was going to find a job. So, we'll go for a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's Sister Sister on City TV and 97.3 City FM with me, Jessica. My sisters in the studio today, of course, Tina, Olivia and Emefa. And your comments are welcome, 054-998-6996. That's our WhatsApp number. Don't forget, you can also like our Facebook page and join our Facebook community. Look for Sister Sister Live. Alternatively, send an email to jessica@cityfmonline.com. A message here says, good evening, sisters. I had this boyfriend, and it's not as if he isn't attractive or I don't like him, but that connection is just not there. In most cases, I can't even have a real conversation with him because there are just very limited things we could talk about and he would understand or even relate to. He was also very emotional. So when I got fed up, I called the relationship off. But he's been disturbing me since. Sometimes he would call me and be crying on the phone. I feel very bad at times, but honestly, I can't also sacrifice my happiness just because he wants a relationship. Do you think my position is a good one? That's from Dicta in Alaji, Tabora.
Charlie, shout out
Hard
to
girl.
Dicta. No, you're a big woman. I don't even know why you entered the relationship in the first place. It's like you haven't given us any positive. You've just given us all the negative parts. So I'm not sure where I would say what attracted you to him, and then you should dwell on that and then maybe. But listen.
I know
You've
where this is going.
Tina.
No, Ranstina.
Yeah.
You've answered your own question. You can't sacrifice your happiness for somebody that you only draw negatives from. Negativity. Negative energy is bad energy. And you will always be exhausted in a relationship. An emotional man... No.
You don't like emotional men? I like emotional men.
Listen,
nothing wrong with being emotional.
There's nothing wrong in being emotional. But to the point where he cries on the phone.
That's because he
wait. See, men, they will cry once or maybe topmost twice, just when the situation is critical. After that, they don't drag it.
Don't feed into toxic masculinity, Tina.
Charlie, it's
okay. Don't feed into toxic masculinity.
Let me draw away from that side. All I want to say is, if you're not happy and you think that these things weigh on your energy, don't go into it. Don't take him back because of you feeling sorry for him, because you haven't said any positive. I didn't hear anything positive, so I don't see what would make you go to him. If you had told us that, Charlie, the guy, his sex is good, he's fine, he's whatever, he makes you laugh, you can't even have a conversation with the guy.
So yeah,
it's a non-starter for me.
For me, I'm putting myself in the guy's shoes, considering that he thought he was in a relationship and he thought he was doing everything right. I think it depends on how you broke up with him, because he's still calling. How did you break up with him? Does he need closure? Do you need to let him know why you can't move on? I think you owe it to him. Because sometimes people love and they love very deeply.
Sure.
And it's not their fault. They think that he thinks that, hey, he's treating you like a queen. But and exactly.
10,000 more.
And it's not his fault that he fell in love and he fell in love so madly. So you owe it to him. He's on the phone crying. How many men cry on the phone?
So after explanation.
You know? So yes, you can't shut him out. After explanation, you owe it to him to let him know, okay, give him that opportunity.
She has.
And again, one last one. To let him know that you're a really good friend. I don't want you to continue doing this because, to be honest, if I see myself with you married, we would get divorced because of our children. Because let him see the bigger picture. Let him know that it's not him and it's you. Just give that to him.
But it wasn't.
I know it was him. It was him. But he doesn't know. And maybe he needs to know what it was. Sometimes it's nice to let the other party know what they did, so that in their next relationship they know what to do better. Okay. But it's all about how you're doing it. The fact that he can't make you laugh or he can't doesn't mean that he's a bad person. It just means that he probably doesn't know how to love. And it's a good opportunity for you to tell him so we can move on.
This is an example of what Tina was talking about earlier. Dating people, getting to know them, making sure that they're the ones for you before you decide to go into a relationship. Because how didn't you know that he didn't have a sense of humor that suited you, or that there was no conversation before you entered into a relationship? It, like, for me, if there's no cerebral connection, I mean, there's no vibe, we can't talk for hours and hours, then
what are we doing
exactly? So I don't see why. I mean, what's done is done, but it sounds like this relationship shouldn't even have been a thing in the first place. But I also agree with Liv here. I do think it sounds like he's a very sensitive guy. If he's not just trying to trap you, get you back and then dump you, that could be another thing altogether, because he could be faking it. But I do think if he seems very emotional, then you'd never know the effect this relationship would have had on him, because I don't even know how long they had been together for him to be crying this much. So get him into a public space so there's pressure so that he doesn't cry.
He will cry.
No, he won't.
I don't think he will. I don't think he will. And then break it down for him. Let him know, but be kind. Be kind. Don't be like, you have no sense. There's no fresh conversation. You're boring. No. Just be like, you didn't stimulate me in any way.
Anyway, Sally.
Sorry, that's painful. That's painful.
I hear you, ladies. I really hear you, ladies. I want to commend the lady, though. Not everybody would come out right and tell you that they don't want to do this anymore. Like, they would just string you along until you sort of get the message. I'm glad she told him, this is not working. So, yeah, definitely maybe give him another opportunity, as Olivia's saying. Have a chat and say, you know what, it's really not going to work, and I'm doing this for you. And I know in 4, 5, 6 years, you will thank me for walking away, because you'll meet that amazing woman who will do better. We'll end it here. Thank you, ladies, for your time. My name is Jessica, and thank you for watching and listening on City TV and 97.3 City FM. We'll be back on your favorite station, same time next week. Cheers.